There was an absolute bonanza here tonight, and unfortunately, I failed you all. I wasn't able to cover as much of it as I really wanted to. Sure, I was able to get my jabs in on Twitter, and some of you guys were able to go onto my Twitter account to see the absolute savagery that I induced upon some NBA players, as well as tweeting out thoughts on various moves that were made. But the reason I couldn't make it was, well, I don't really know how to explain the memorial we had for my grandfather. And I know for an outsider, it's kind of weird because it's kind of like in my tradition, it's a week-long thing to mourn my grandfather. But I digress. The reason I'm saying this is there was some craziness that went down during the free agency period that I just simply wasn't capable of covering. And I know for a lot of you guys, I'm your go-to news source. And for that, I apologize. I like to hope that this won't happen again. And for those of you guys that understood, I greatly appreciate it. But I got some pretty juicy news for you guys that I dug up once I got back. Literally, I'm recording this the moment I got back to my office. It's like right now, it's like 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. And well, I feel like this is something that will kind of go back to the roots of when I started this channel, because we started this channel by doing content like this. So for the OGs out there, you're going to really like this. Now, before we get to the content, make sure you leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe, and turn on our notifications for the latest NBA news. And of course, make sure to check us out on our NFL channel, Microphone, and our gaming channel, TheFlightMike TV. We also have an Instagram page as well. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, the New Orleans Pelicans have been making a ton of moves this offseason. Now, we all know that earlier in the offseason, they officially traded Drew Holiday to the Milwaukee Bucks, but we found out that according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the New Orleans Pelicans and Milwaukee Bucks are expanding the original Drew Holiday trade to include more teams and players. This would include the routing of Steven Adams to the Pelicans. Talks are moving towards a possible 4-team trade. This would involve OKC trading the newly acquired James Johnson to the Dallas Mavericks, and the deal still may be in progress at the time of this video, but so far what we know is Mavericks guard DeLon Wright is going to be headed to Detroit as part of this deal, while Trevor Ariza is going to go to the Mavericks. Justin Jackson is also going to be heading to OKC as part of this trade. So to summarize everything, the Mavericks are going to get James Johnson, the Pistons are going to get DeLon Wright, OKC is going to get Trevor Ariza, Justin Jackson, and of course, a draft pick. Now, the fascinating part of all of this is the Thunder have agreed in principle to trade Steven Adams to the Pelicans as part of a multi-team trade. Sources tell ESPN OKC is getting back, wait for it, future first round and second round picks. Now, sources also say that the Steven Adams to Pelicans trade includes Denver, which traded a 2023 lottery protected first round pick for the 24th pick on draft night. That pick is headed to the Thunder along with 2 seconds for Adams. Now, the 24th pick in the NBA draft was RJ Hampton, and I don't know how, this might not make a lot of sense, but to make it as least confusing for you guys as possible, RJ Hampton is still a member of the Denver Nuggets as far as I know. And I could go into it more because Woj just makes it sound very complicated. New Orleans is routing that Denver pick to OKC, which is an easier way to explain it. And then he finishes off by saying, to be clear, Denver traded a 2023 protected first round pick to New Orleans for the draft rights to RJ Hampton. And that 2023 pick is headed through to Oklahoma City in the Adams deal. RJ Hampton remains a Denver Nugget. This is all very fascinating because, well, It seems like the OKC Thunder are just selling on everything. Every single asset that they have whatsoever, they're getting rid of. But this also makes a lot of sense because they're stuck with Al Horford this year. They're going to have to hold on to that horrible contract, build up his stock, and try to flip him as soon as possible, kind of like what they did with Chris Paul last year. But that's not all we have for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's a lot of Pelicans fans here, and well, for those of you guys that are wondering how Zion Williamson is looking, he took a picture with a fan a few days ago, and well, first of all, I don't even want to comment on the fact that they're not wearing masks. I'm going to try to be an adult about this, but what I'm paying more attention to is Zion looks like he is in phenomenal shape. He got significantly thinner, and he looks like he's ready to go when the season starts in a month. Now, bro, here's the thing. When it comes to Zion Williamson looking like he is in significantly better shape, I am by far the most skeptical individual that you will ever meet in your entire life. Because, well, no offense to Zion, and I really hope he's in shape because, you know, a healthy Zion is just good for the NBA, good for our league, very entertaining. Here's the thing. When is the last time you saw Zion Williamson take a picture where he said he was in shape, and when time came for him to show off how in shape he wasn't really in shape? Let me give you a hint. You guys remember this picture from before the pandemic? You know, this picture went viral on the internet, and we were all marveling at how muscular Zion looked. The guy looks like freaking Megatron in this picture, with his mask on, looking to the side. He's in a freaking weight room, for crying out loud. Like, the Pelicans, I have to tip my hat off to Pelicans marketing over here, because Zion looks like a freaking demigod in this picture. But what do we get when time came for the actual NBA restart? You know, the restart where the entire NBA practically rigged it for the Pelicans to potentially make it to the playoffs as an 8th seed, so we could potentially see a first-seeded Los Angeles Lakers team face off against an 8th-seeded New Orleans Pelicans team, which, by the way, were gaining significant amounts of momentum prior to the NBA season ending in March when it was suspended. Well, we saw by far one of the worst teams that I think we could all agree, the worst team in the bubble. Zion looked very lethargic. He was barely able to move. He was so bad that the Pelicans once again were restricting his minutes. In fact, he was so bad that it resulted in his head coach getting fired. So what is my point when I'm ranting on about the Zion picture? That even though I'm bringing you this information, I'm trying to train you guys, man. You need to take this with a grain of salt. I know I'm bringing this information to your face, but even though Zion looks thinner, you need to say to yourself, hey, until I see this product on the floor and I see a thinner Zion crushing and decimating his opponents and sipping on the blood of his enemies, then I'm not going to take this picture very seriously. But all in all, if you're asking me in terms of what I think about the New Orleans Pelicans offseason, they're doing a remarkable job. Acquiring Steven Adams, a big bruising center, to put alongside Zion Williamson to replace Derek Favors is a remarkable move. Trading Drew Holiday for assets and more depth with an athlete like Eric Bledsoe and a great role player in George Hill, even a better move. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Zion Williamson's supposed weight loss. Aside from that, I'm your boy, TheFlightMike. And bro, turn your notifications on because I'm going to be coming back with a lot of news today. I'm dropping our mic for probably another few hours before I come back.